Hello, welcome to our presentation. We are Group 8, and for our project, we worked on a train reservation system. The first of our many features is the MySQL database. We use this to store all form of information used in our programs, such as trains, train routes, train stations, tickets that customers have purchased, users that log into the system, and food that can be purchased through diner cars. This database is held on a server, so no matter where you log in from, as long as you have the MySQL connector downloaded and connected to your IDE, you should be able to connect to the database and have all of the same information as anybody else working on the project.
One of the most fundamental functions of our project is the add function, which we use to add trains into the MySQL database. All the information is formatted correctly to prevent any errors. It's a basic stimulus response dialogue between the program and user to add a train with values train ID, hard seat, hard sleeper, soft seat, and soft sleeper totals, train route ID, depart and arrival station IDs, depart and arrival times, train berth, diner car status, and train express status, or stops if the train is non-express.
Another function our project has is the search function, and this allows users and admins to search through the train and train route tables in our database in multiple ways. They are allowed to search by train ID, through the departure and arrival stations, and by the date that the train actually left.
We have created and integrated a get function for getting trains from the MySQL database. All the admin or user has to do is supply the train ID of an existing train, and the function will automatically get the information from the database. It will present that information in well-formatted full sentences for easy reading. When this function is executed, it gets a train matching the ID with these values. For hard seat, hard sleeper, soft seat, and soft sleeper totals, it will tell how many tickets have been sold and how many tickets remain to be sold. It will give the train route ID, the depart and arrival station IDs, the depart and arrival times, the train berth, where it will be taking off from, the diner car status, the express status, and if the train is non-express, it will tell which stops the train will be stopping at along its route.
Alright, next is our delay menu function, which will be able to be accessed by admins through the admin menu. The delay menu will allow admins to add a delay to a train by entering the train's ID and entering the delayed arrival time for that train. Through the delay menu, admins will be able to remove a delay from a train as well by entering the train's ID, which will reset the delayed arrival time for that train.
The next function our project has is the edit function, which allows admins to edit trains and train routes in our database as long as they have the ID for the specific item they're looking for. The edit menu allows you to change the express status and stops, the diner car status, the train destination, and the departure time for a specific train. Each of these inputs are formatted correctly, causing no errors in the database. And when you complete your edit, your train will be outputted. All the information that you edited will be outputted just so that you can double check everything to make sure it's all correct.
For our passcode function, we have a prompt that asks the user for a username and then a passcode. If the username exists, then it checks to assure that the passcode also matches the user, and then it tests to make sure that the user is an administrator in the original text-based form. In the GUI form, it tests to see if the user is an administrator or not, and if it's not, then it does not display the admin options. And then we have the admin menu, which is only accessible if the user is considered an administrator. In the admin menu, we have 5 different options. You can add a train, and then you can edit trains that already exist. You can display information on trains using an ID, and then you can search for trains running on specific days. And then finally, we have the train delay menu, which is a separate menu that allows the user to add delays to running trains. And then in the GUI, it's exactly the same as the original text-based, except in a much prettier format.
Our GUI is separated into 3 different sections. The first section holds the options that a user can select. There are currently 3 options: an option to view the user's tickets, an option to view the food menu on diner cars, and an add menu if you have access to it. The second section is where a user can search for a train route based on the departure and arrival station as well as the date. Currently, the search relies on station IDs. Searching by city or region is planned. The last section is where the different data will be displayed. The GUI is supported by several classes. One of the most important classes is the train route handler. The train route handler carries information to and from the GUI and other classes. Another important class is the database manager. This is used to send and retrieve data from the MySQL database. The other classes are used to display desired information to the user. One of these classes is the train route class that stores and displays the routes that the user searched for. The ticket purchase class handles the purchase of the ticket and displays the information one last time.
The final slide before our presentation is the planned features slide. Since we are so late in the sprint, there are very few of these. However, we do plan on adding filtering for the GUI results screen, and we plan to filter by dates, destinations, express status, and diner car status. Along with this, we plan on adding a ticket viewing GUI so that customers can view the tickets they have previously purchased.
Okay, this is just going to be a short video demonstrating what we've done for our train reservation system so far. Currently, we have 2 primary folders that do the majority of the work. The first folder is the admin stuff folder, and what this does is it first connects to this database, our MySQL database, and this contains all of the information we will need, including the trains, the train routes, the actual stations, the food on the trains, and even the users that will be connecting to the database. So, what the first folder does, like I said, connects to the database and allows the user options to change the database. And then obviously our second largest folder is the GUI folder, and it basically does the same thing as the admin stuff, except it also allows the user to see a much prettier format besides text-based. Okay, so I'll go ahead and run the admin menu first though, because it's finished and I want to demonstrate what it will do. Once I run it, the first thing it will do is ask for a username and passcode. So this is my username and my passcode. Once that is accepted, which it double checks and makes sure that the user exists, which is here, and then passcode is accepted, and then whether or not the user is an admin. If he is an admin, like I said, he is routed to the admin menu. On the admin menu, he has the option to add, edit, and search for specific information on trains. And he also has the option to add a delay to a train. So for now, though, I'll go ahead and exit this, and I will just go ahead and use show the GUI, which the first thing that happens when I run it will be the exact same thing as the admin stuff. It will ask for a username and passcode. Right now, though, I'm going to sign into a user that does not have administrative privileges because I want to show what the actual customer will be seeing. So the first thing he sees is the departure station and arrival station, and then a date. So first thing I will do is I will decide where I want to leave from, which will be Mobile, and I want to go to Jacksonville, and then I will choose a day to leave, which will be today. Once I click search, it will pull up all of the trains in the database that have those matching criteria. So in this case, we only have 1, but there are a couple different options for seating. There's only 2 because these 2 are not available. I have 50 seats available for hard sleeper and 100 seats for hard seat. So let's say I want to purchase a hard sleeper. Once I click purchase, a separate menu with more detailed information will pop up. Showing the location of leave and location of arrival, the time, and whether or not it's express, and so on, even if it has a dining car. Once I click purchase, it is supposed to update the SQL database here under train route and train station. It will display the number of people who have purchased a ticket. But anyhow, I'm going to go ahead and close this real quick and show it again, but this time I'm going to sign in as an admin to show what is the admin can change. So once again, username and passcode. This time I'll sign in as an admin, and since he has administrative privileges, although it's exactly the same as a customer standpoint, there is an added button here called admin. And what this basically does is pretty simple. It allows the user to change the database. So if I were to click add train, all I would need is a new train ID and then the number of seats here. So if I were to do this, we'll just go do 50 here. And then I click commit, it is supposed to add it to the actual database, and it does work, but I will have to wait for it to update. But anyways, once I switch over to edit, I can search for a specific train ID, so we'll do this one real quick. Once I click search, it pulls up the number of seats again, and then I can actually change the number of seats here as well. And then if I click search by day, I can search up all the trains that are running on a specific day. So if I were to click the second here, there's only one train running that day. There it is. So only one pops up, but it shows the ID, the departure and arrival locations, the times, and then whether or not it's expressed as a dining car or delayed. And then once again, since it displays the ID here, then I can actually edit it from here. And then finally, the last button will be a delay menu. Right now, if I click that, nothing happens. It does work in our admin stuff folder, but we haven't changed it to a GUI yet. We are planning to, though. So if I click exit here, it closes. And then there's only one other thing that doesn't work yet, or two other things, I guess. The food menu and the tickets buttons do not work, although we are planning on adding those. We already have a food section as well as a ticket section. We just need to connect the actual GUI to the database itself. Once we click those, it will display the food options for a specific ticket, and then the tickets button will display all the tickets available. Anyways, so that's our project so far. We aren't finished with it, but this is what we've got. And then obviously we do have JUnit tests here down at the bottom, and then this is a connector for the database.